Hello everybody, this is Matthew Holden with Houston Aquarium Warehouse. It is Wednesday, September the 24th, 2025, and we are back at it again with another awesome import from our business partners in Bogota, Colombia. And without further ado, let's give you all a quick sneak peek of what we're getting. So just got everyone unboxed and acclimating right now, so nothing super special. We get them every month. Well, I wouldn't say there's nothing super special. We just get them all the time. They are very special, cool little guys. Otocinclus catfish and a freebie dead rummy nose. Interesting. So yeah, otocinclus vittatus, or the silver ocat. We've been getting them at a really good size lately. Sometimes these guys will come in like the size of your pinky nail, but these are all pretty much fully grown and very, very healthy. I don't think I pulled out a single corpse other than that a lone rummy nose that shouldn't have been there anyways. Over here we have some Abramedes, or some marble headstanders. Some of these guys are a little stressed out laying down. Some of them are kind of perked up, but absolutely beautiful headstander. Little nippy, I would call them semi-aggressive, but they do well with a large-ish tank with a kind of stout, robust cichlids. And don't you worry, these guys laying down, they're not dead, they're just stressed out right now. They'll right themselves up once we get them in the tanks. In here we have a twofer. This is one of my favorite of the twig catfish. We get them in fairly regularly. That guy is very active. Let's see if this guy's a little calmer. So these are the Llanero twig catfish, or the cowboy twig catfish. And I love these guys because those filaments they have at the end of their caudal fin right there are just super, super crazy long. They get this beautiful kind of like orangish bronze color with those stripes. And you can see he's stuck onto my hand right there. Love those guys, love bringing them in. And then we also have a rarer species of Corydoras kind of mixed in here. See if I can grab one. These guys are very active and feisty, which is always a good sign. Let's see if we don't spend 4 minutes of the video with me just trying to catch one Corydoras. So these are the CW106 long-nose Corys. They're kind of like, I sort of describe them as a cross between like a bandit Cory and a skunk Cory, because they have that black mask and they have that black line down the back and this really beautiful kind of bronzy yellow coloration to them. Really, really awesome species. We got a bunch of them in last year. They're kind of hard to come by and they sell out really, really quickly. I think maybe we only were able to get like maybe 30 or 40 of them this time around. So get them while you can, because those guys will probably go real quick. Over here we got another type of twig catfish, and these guys came in huge. These are Farloella acus, or just kind of your standard twig catfish, and look at the size on that guy right there. Some of these are almost, or quite a bit more than a foot long. Really, really cool twig catfish. You can keep them communally. They're halfway decent algae eaters. I mean, they're not really going to eat a lot of the really rough stuff like hair algae and things like that, but they do their part. And then also mixed up in here, we have some emerald brocus. Love these guys, really big kind of stout species of Corydoras. They got that beautiful iridescent green on the sides where they get their name, the emerald Cory. Beautiful fish, extremely hardy, like practically bulletproof. They're a great Cory species for like big South American cichlid tanks and things like that. So real happy to get some of those in. Moving on over here, something we have not been able to get in for a while, but we were actually able to find a Colombian source since these normally come out of Peru. These are orange laser Corydoras, and their name and coloration speaks for themselves. They are absolutely beautiful. Got a bunch of those guys in. Real happy to finally get those in, considering that Peru has been hard to import from lately. Over here we have another one of my favorites. These are the Amazon pufferfish, one of the very few truly freshwater species of puffers. Really like these guys. They actually spend most of their time eating algae off the rocks and stuff like that. And that's not saying they're like, they're going to be a cleanup crew for you. But unlike most other puffers, they don't really go after snails. I mean, you do need to supplement a little bit of protein in their diet. But the way we like to feed them and kind of help them keep their beaks worn down is we'll put a rapashi. It's kind of this gelatin-based fish food, and we'll put it on rocks so they can kind of pick at it throughout the day and kind of help keep their teeth worn down. One of my favorite things about these guys is that for puffer fish, even though they have those beaks on them, they're actually fairly peaceful. You can keep a small community of them in your tank. I wouldn't put them in with like tiny tetras, particularly not any like crustaceans like shrimp or anything like that. But I've seen these kept with rummy nose. I've seen them kept with angels. I've seen them kept with cories. They're really don't have that bad of an attitude as far as like puffer fish are concerned. So absolutely love these guys, and they are adorable. They're like kind of like little zeppelins kind of swimming around. Over here we got some Orinoco Altum angelfish, and some of these guys came in absolutely huge. Let me see if I can grab one. Once again, please don't mind the ones laying down. They are jet lagged and they have come quite a long way, so they are very much alive, but they are just kind of laying down and sort of getting their bearings. Some of these other guys are quite spicy right now though. Let me get this huge, really big one right here. Oh, come on, buddy. I don't want to give you a concussion. All right, I'm going to leave him alone, but sorry, I had to wipe my shirt right there. He splashed a little bit of water on the lens, but yep, Orinoco Altums. Last month we brought in Otobapos. You know, the differences in the Altums are really kind of negligible. These have less of that red color. They're more black. The stripes are a little bit more pronounced, and you'll have some slight variations in the fin height and shape and such like that. But just like any of the other Altums, fairly sensitive species, kind of an expert only sort of situation, but love bringing these guys in now that Altum season is in full swing. Over here, we got one of my favorite of the earth eaters. These are the demon earth eaters. I actually had the privilege of filming some of these when I was down in the Mete region in Colombia not that long ago. Got them in kind of a medium size, really cool earth eating cichlid. And for those of you who don't know, earth eaters are named as such because they like to root around in the gravel and the sand and look for things to eat, kind of sift it through their gills, sort of like some saltwater gobies do and things like that. Really cool fish. They like to be kept in a group. You know, semi-aggressive. They are cichlids after all, but really like these guys. Over here, something I have been trying to get in for a couple years now. We got them in once before and they were really popular. See if I can get one. These guys are really tiny and delicate. These are the Peppermint otocinclus catfish. Beautiful little ocat. They have these bright little dots kind of all over them. I guess where they get their name Peppermint ocat from. I mean, to be fair, they don't really look peppermint to me, but I don't name fish, so I'm sure they had their reasons. But something you don't see very often, kind of hard to find and difficult to source, but if you're looking for an ocat that's a little different than your standard silver ocat, these guys are an excellent choice and a fairly rare, neat little fish to find. Moving on down, now we're getting into the tetras we brought in. These I'm really excited about. These are virgulatus tetras, a relatively new species out of Colombia. They're also called blue flash or electric blue tetras, and I doubt some of their colors will, oh yeah, you can see they have that kind of bright iridescent blue flashing on them when you see them in the light, and the males will actually develop these really bright like electric blue lines down their bodies. So once these guys are feeling a little bit happier and secure in their new tank, I'll get some video so I can show you the colors on these, because these are an absolutely beautiful species of tetra and something you don't really see all the time. And then last but not least, we have neon tetras, because you can never have too many neon tetras. We get them in all the time. Unfortunately, jumbo season is over, so it's going to be tiny guys like this for the rest of the year when it comes to neons and cardinals, but I don't mind. And to be honest, after about a month, they almost double in size when you keep them well fed like that. They're really fast growing when you get them in young. So really not a bad deal, and frankly it means you get to keep the fish a little bit longer. So yep, neons. And then over here we got about 2,000 cardinal tetras, little tiny guys. I'm not even gonna try to pick them up. I am gonna get that guy off the side of the container right there. So give these guys about a month, and like I said, they'll pretty much double in size. So yeah, so that's everything we got in on this shipment. We'll be bringing in another Brazil and another Colombia import next month as well. Gonna get all these guys in the tanks. Thank you so much for watching and for all your support, and come by and see these guys soon. Y'all take care.